India is already the fifth biggest country for us volumetrically, and we have 54 plants in India and 50,000 direct employees. But we have a vibrant, sustainable agricultural supply base. There are other countries that could do well to see how much red tape has been removed in India and how the digital platforms in India are really powerful. And the GDP per capita point that India is at, it has tended to go along with a big acceleration in consumer-related industries over and above the growth rate of the general economy. Some of the most cutting-edge, most innovative digital marketing is actually coming from India. The talent can take India to the front edge rather than having them to go somewhere else to do the cutting-edge stuff. And I think that's an exciting next wave of growth.
James, let me turn to you. How do you assess the last few years? And how do you look ahead and structure your businesses for a country like India?
India is already the fifth biggest country for us volumetrically, and we have 54 plants in India and 50,000 direct employees. So it's not starting at zero. And actually, I think the question that is posed on the panel of seizing the moment, actually the answer can be broken in two parts. The Indian government has seized the moment. The work that has been done, I think the ministers described it fantastically, on the regulatory framework and the simplifications, the physical infrastructure starting to come in place, and the digital infrastructure is not just laying the foundation. In some areas, actually, they've jumped to the cutting edge of what's possible, particularly in some of the digital stuff. So really the question is actually a private sector question, not a governmental question. And I think the framework and the platform is there for growth. And so I think it's about the private sector seizing the moment. And for us, for example, over the last few years, we've been investing at the rate of about $750 million a year. We are upping it to $1 billion a year for the next 5 years. So that's a 30% increase in the rate of investment. And we think that particularly for the consumer industries, this really is going to be the moment. You can study economic growth across the world, and the GDP per capita point that India is at with the sort of packages the government have in place, it has tended to go along with a big acceleration in consumer-related industries over and above the growth rate of the general economy.
The young workforce, how is Coca-Cola as a global enterprise viewing this opportunity here?
It's both of the above and more. It's clearly the demographic dividend in India is going to last a long time. It's a huge source of very highly trained talent, and therefore it's going to be a catalyst and an enabler for us to be able to grow. It's also for us been a source of talent to export outside of India. So we've had Indians go and run businesses all over the globe. So I think there's also an opportunity as a platform to contribute to the talent elsewhere. And I think the other thing that I would underline about the opportunity with Indian talent, because it's not so tied to, well, we've done this this way for 50 years, the rate of creativity and innovation is much higher. Some of the most cutting edge, most innovative marketing, digital marketing is actually coming from India, not the traditional countries of the world. So I think there's this opportunity to actually get on the front edge. I mean, the government got on the front edge with some of the digital programs, and actually the talent can take India to the front edge rather than having them to go somewhere else to do the cutting edge stuff. Actually, it's starting to come from India, and I think that's an exciting next wave of growth.